Alright, hello there and welcome back to Sundered. I'm giving a slightly more formal introduction this time because it's been a while since I played this game, around a week. I wanted to play it a bit earlier, not take as long of a break, but I kind of gave my computer a tall order of rendering an 8.5 hour video. You'll see what that's about at some point. I'm sure just to upload it to YouTube will take another like half a day. It seriously took like a day and a half to actually encode fully. Not one of my brightest decisions, that. So since it's been a while since I played, I've kind of forgotten the controls a little bit. So I'm just gonna spend a few moments here re-getting used to them. So that's the cannon. Good old pushback. I got my basic melee combo. That charge move that I'm still pretty bad at timing. I can do it here when things are calm, but in the midst of hectic combat, not so much. I have the double jump. What else do I have? I have the wall climb ability, which I can't exactly use here. Actually, I could probably see all of my abilities at the perk tree here. Or ability tree, rather. Perks are a separate thing, yeah. Gravitational boots, strength amplifier, leaping device. Propulsion engine, that's the one I was forgetting. I knew there was some other power-up I couldn't think of offhand. Air dash. Oh. And by using it, I'm meditating slightly off-kilter. That amuses me. And right, I left off last time with this specific perk combo here. That gives me a ridiculously strong shield that always regenerates, albeit at a reduced rate. But of course, if it ever breaks, I'm dead. So, I'm actually going to have to pay attention to that more so than usual, and make sure I'm timely with my shield flask uses. Now, I did receive a tip from someone that there are ability nodes that increase the regeneration rate of the shield, yeah. This one right here, and there's also one that does so for energy. I'm guessing it's down here. And they recommended that, given how often I use up my energy and how quickly my shield breaks, I should probably go for those. And that's a good idea. I kind of forgot to go back to these earlier sections of the tree after unlocking the latter ones, and that's totally my bad. Before I do anything though, I do want to get down here to Scavenger, because that seems more than anything else like it would be really, really useful. So yeah, that's me having played catch-up, and a little bit of mustard too, so let's actually get back to exploring the second area. Oh, hold on, what was the map button? Back shoulder, right. Not the third, because... yeah, I think I know where that third mini-boss I never found is, given it's the only place on the map I've yet to explore, and it's specifically locked from this other side, so yeah. I think I know exactly where I need to go. Thankfully, it's not too far away. Hopefully I won't get ambushed too much on the way, but I would like to fight a few enemies at the very least, just to get a little bit of practice with the combat before actually getting into a serious fight. I could certainly use that. Yeah, not a fan of that bit of level generation that's come up a few times now, where I'll drop down and then, oh, it's just a pit filled with thorns. If I'm not being chased by enemies, it's not actually threatening, it's just kind of an annoyance. Of course, if I am being chased by enemies, it can actually be a rather large threat. As little as the damage is, it could be enough to break my shield, and then I'll get murdered by the enemies pretty quickly. That shouldn't be too likely to happen here, though, given the fact that these are the basic tier. Wow, my shield did not go down at all. Now, they are the basic tier enemies, so they're not exactly doing a whole lot of damage to me at this point, but this, in combination with the blowback effect of my shield, I didn't even take that into consideration. That might be some really strong synergy. We'll see how it fares against actually tougher enemies, though. Even shitty combinations are going to be fine against weak enemies. Yeah, look at how quickly they die, now that I have all this power in my hands. I do have to be careful not to get too secret. I'm getting better at spotting these. Not that that's too important of a skill to be learning, given I'll soon be getting that map upgrade that should show them off. But yeah, if I end up getting too confident, then when I actually encounter some tough enemies, I'll probably die rather quickly, so... I gotta keep things in perspective. Yeah, these weird shade enemies absolutely have to be a side effect of corrupting my Eldritch abilities. In which case, it's not all that much of a negative side effect. Eastern Pilgrimage, well, it's not an endless horde area, so it shouldn't be too bad. Because yeah, I haven't seen hide nor hair of these on the person who I'm watching who's doing a no corruption run, a resist run. And given how they are aesthetically, it makes sense for them to be related to corrupting your abilities. You'd think though that they'd be a little bit more dangerous, but I'm not complaining. This game's dangerous enough already without throwing extra bullshit at me, so I'll take the breaks where I can get them. Okay. Is it gonna be an endless horde area if I venture into here? Nope, just a mini-boss who, oh, I have to make a commitment here. No getting back out. At least not easily. Fatu Ozeloth, Fallen Eschaton Priest. Hey, it's the same enemy type as the, oh, what was it? It was a word that started with A. Aggressors, Abominations, something like that. An enemy type I fought in the third area. So if you don't go there immediately, you get a sneak peek at this enemy type. I'm actually pretty used to dealing with them, so this guy shouldn't be too much of a threat. Yes, my shield and thus my effective life nearly busted there. But I kept an eye on it, and that's what matters. I think the worst thing is how agile this jerk is. Let's see, would it be worth using the cannon here? Oh, not if he's gonna move like that. Oh! See? This is what happens when I get overconfident. I guess I didn't keep as good of an eye on my shield as I thought I was. Yeah, that's the issue. One of the disadvantages of one of the perks I have equipped is that the shield regeneration rate is greatly reduced. Which kind of screwed me over a little bit there. It looks like this one here gives a huge boost. It's currently 6 per second. Does that take into account the reduction from whatever perk that is? Let me actually check that out. De-equip that perk, mouse over here. Yeah, okay. So by default it's 20, this perk doubles it. Sorry, this ability doubles it. The perk I had equipped reduces it to 6. Since it is a percentage reduction, I believe, or was that ability, that would also affect the boost I would get from that node. So a 70% reduction. So basically, I would end up with 12 per second, which is still lower than that of the default. Not too much lower, though. I'm just considering whether I want to continue running with this perk setup. I mean, given how I died to a mini-boss who didn't seem all that threatening, I'm starting to think it's not the best idea. If I could pay more attention to what's happening, it would be great. Then I could just use my shield flask whenever I get low and I'd be fine, but in the more hectic fights, there's so much shit going on that it's really difficult to pay attention to that bar. As long as it is now, so while this was an interesting theory for sure, I think I might be better off going with something else. So boosting my damage, that's always a good perk to have. I'll take the health reduction. Golden Charm is always a fantastic standby just for getting more currency. Hey, if I actually had that equipped on that run, I might actually have enough shards now to purchase this shield regeneration perk, which I might go for immediately since it's right here. And for the third perk, what would I go with? What would be a good general perk to have equipped? I believe I had a few others that had no disadvantages, like this one here. That's always a solid option. My shield downtime is increased by 1 second. That's honestly not that bad. But I tend to have the most trouble either with the super hectic hordes, where this would help getting shield back every time I kill an enemy, but I also have trouble with the bosses, and that's kind of currently what I'm going for. That's all I have left to do, really. And this isn't exactly going to help much against them. I mean, they do tend to summon lesser minions, so maybe it would still be useful, but... I kind of want to see exactly how useful Harvester ends up being. I'll be a lot squishier, but recovering health every time I deal damage, that's pretty tempting. I love Life Leech, so I think I'll go with that for now. So yeah, sorry, interesting shield synergy perk combo. I just can't handle you. Okay, so let's try not to die so quickly this time, eh? Every fucking time. God damn it, I hate that pit. That gosh darn troll pit. Oh hey, this is the first time I've encountered a secret quite like this. So I have to pay attention not just to the side walls, but the ceilings as well. And possibly, for all I know, the floors. There might be some invisible floors, illusory floors rather, that I could drop through. It would explain why I had trouble finding some secret treasure chests way back when. That's the main reason why I want that map upgrade perk. Finding all of those secret treasure chests should increase my currency gain by quite a bit, and thus my effective power gain every time I go back to the start. Alright, I'm near enough to that mini-boss. Actually, no, I shouldn't need to kill any of these chaff. It seems a consistent thing that the regular enemies die when I enter a mini-boss's room. Yep, I think they're gone. Alright, so now when my shield breaks, I'm not going to immediately die, so that should help somewhat. Damn, though, those projectiles do a lot of damage. Gonna have to use a few of my health flasks here. Yeah, the issue with these projectiles is the fact that there's so many, and they home pretty well. It's not like the fallen priestesses whose projectiles homed only slightly at best. I'm so glad my cannons destroy those as well. If that hadn't been the case, I would have been in trouble there. But yeah, with the priestesses, I could just stand in front of them and spam attacks, and actually end up destroying most of the projectiles, but because of their curving and slightly homeward trajectory here, that's much less effective. Not to mention this boy just constantly running away and being a huge pain in the ass. I'm just gonna wait for him to move at this point. He seems to, yeah, do that after a time, even if I don't go after him. Although, it looks like if I park myself right on his corpse, well, soon-to-be corpse, right on his body, past the point where he actually fires projectiles, he can't actually do shit. That'll probably be a useful tip when I'm fighting hordes of these regular ones, if I can keep the presence of mind to stand in the right spot. Okay, this looks to be over. I say, right before I die. Nope, he's dead. For a second there, I was really worried he would turn out to have a second form or something. That after-fight dialogue was taking an awfully long time to proc. Okay, now the Elder Shard fragment. How many is that I have? 2. I'm trying to think. I beat 2 mini-bosses in the 3rd area, yes, which means I have 1 more there. That's where this 3rd fragment is. Not counting the super top secret fragments that exist somewhere. I hope those are pointed out by that map perk as well. I don't want to have to go searching for them blindly on my own. That seems like it would be, kind of a pain in the ass. I hear a secret sparkle somewhere. Unless it was just this, because I think the regular treasure chests also make a slight sound. Not as loud as the secret ones, but similar enough to be confusing. Alright, well, this shortcut won't exactly be useful, but I might as well try and unlock it. Who knows, maybe after I do some stuff I'll have to re-explore the world or something? A Symphony of the Night inverted castle style thing? That would actually be pretty cool. depending on how they handle it. They would have to like introduce a whole bunch of new enemy types and new gimmicks to actually keep things fresh and keep it from being a slog. I doubt they're gonna do that at all, though. I feel like I'm pretty close to the end just from what I've seen of other people playing this game and just, you know, looking up stuff online. Alright, well, this vertical column room is now actually pretty complete. If I could kill off these enemies and get a moment's peace, I could actually figure out where I want to go now. Looks like I'm gonna have to kill that jerk cultist. I do hope the big boss here doesn't summon cultists as their minions. If so, I might end up having to take the shield piercer perk. And I'll have to do that soon because, yeah, I think the only thing left for me here is to go after that big boss. It's time to take down a certain snake. Alright, there's no quick way up to him. I'm just gonna have to go up and around and over this way. I'll see you when I make it there. Alright, I'm about to reach the boss. Ooh, it did not go so well in my first encounter. I just kind of immediately got slammed to death. That wasn't terribly pleasant. I have no idea if that one attack is a guaranteed one-shot or if it just does so high damage that it is an effective one-shot. Like, if you have enough health and armor, it is technically possible to survive, but I just don't have that, so I need to avoid that attack at all costs. It does have a pretty big telegraph, but it covered such a wide range, or I remember it doing so, that even when I reacted immediately to evade, I still ended up getting hit. Well, now that I know to expect it, I should be able to avoid it, hopefully. I'm glad, though, that they forced me to trigger the boss fight, so I don't have to immediately start dodging as soon as I wander in. Okay. Well, I did it in front of it first, so let's try going to the back and see if that helps. Of course, the only place I can actually attack it is the front, so whoa! Okay. Excuse me. I got sent up a considerable distance. The Elder Shards don't seem to be too strong. Alright, it's got cannons on the side. I'm probably going to want to destroy those, aren't I? Of course, if he just turns around all of a sudden, there's not exactly much I can do about that. That's not the best design, taking a while to actually get over here, and then just being sent to the other side. Or no, he goes to the other side, so you can't do anything. That's kind of a bit annoying. Alright, well, it doesn't look like the guns come back immediately. It's this guy's equivalent of the first boss's minions, I guess. And yeah, I do a lot of damage. I guess exploring the third area really did come in handy, didn't it? Doesn't really matter if I focus on one of these shards or not. Because at the end of the day, he's still gonna go berserk when he reaches the same health threshold, I assume. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but it seems like I didn't actually get damaged by the slam. So it only hurts at the moment of impact, I guess, not actually in its descent downward. That's good to know. It's also good to know that he has a wave motion cannon. I'm gonna call a little bit bullshit there, because I actually did survive, and I immediately pressed the heal button, but much like I noticed previously, it didn't actually heal me, and thus I ended up taking more damage and died. And I'm still not sure why that is. It must be that, like, when you get stunned, you can't actually heal. So I have to keep that in mind, I guess. Yeah, let's go for that faster shield regeneration. That's something that's going to come in handy immediately. And, then continue working my way to that shield perk. I think I was taking this path, yeah? Yeah. So what's on the way? More luck, cannon damage, boosted shield, and then that sought-after scavenger perk. I'm trying to think, what little I know of this boss, are there any perks that would be likely to help me here? More so than what I currently have equipped. I mean, hell, I probably would have taken much less damage if I didn't have this armor reduction. And I'm not sure if the life leech is gonna come in handy against him. You know what? I don't see the cannon being at all useful during this fight, simply because I'm never gonna be in a position to actually use it. So I think I might go with this armor boost. I think it said it was 2% damage reduction per point of armor, so with this, I end up having 66% damage reduction. That's pretty significant, I'd imagine. I wonder if there's a drop-off for that at all. Like, if past a certain point, each point of armor contributes less damage reduction? Because theoretically, if you were to stack armor high enough, you wouldn't end up taking any damage, yeah? Although I assume they've balanced things such that you can't stack armor too high. After all, it's not like there are random armor bonuses you can get or anything, it's just a discrete amount that you get from leveling and some perks. So I assume they fixed it so that you can only get a certain amount of damage reduction. But I do wonder exactly how high that amount is. Like, could I end up getting pretty close to 100% damage reduction? Because that might actually help me a lot. At the very least, it would make up for the mistakes I always end up making. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this boss run relative to the first boss run. Because the first one honestly wasn't that bad. It was a little bit lengthy, and in fact I think I complained about that because I mentioned that each of those runs ended up adding a few minutes to each attempt time, which was kind of annoying. But even if it was fairly long, there really wasn't anything dangerous on the way. This one, in comparison, seems longer, more meandering given the greater dead ends that this environment seems to have. And potentially somewhat dangerous just due to the jerk-ass screamers. I mean, if I'm focusing too much on the platforming, I might end up getting hit by one too many of their stray projectiles, and end up taking damage on the way to the boss, which is not great because I kind of want to be at full health. And full resources in general when fighting it. Yeah, seriously, look at how meandering this path was. I realize that's just part of how this set of rooms was generated, and that it could be better in the future, but the fact that it can be this bad at all is definitely yet another downside to the whole procedural generation thing. And hell, this is something that they could have easily accounted for if they simply made the distance to the boss greatly reduced. Have there be less big rooms on the way, and that would leave less room for the generation to generate a long, meandering path. Like, do I really need to walk all this distance each time for each new boss attempt? No. My answer is no. I just feel that that's something they should have accounted for more. Because yeah, I was talking about the potential of there being danger on the way, but as long as you go pretty swiftly, there really isn't. Fucking scratchiness. As long as you don't end up hearing the sounding of the gong, you're basically fine. So it's just pure busy work. How long was that run? That was like probably 2-ish minutes, give or take a few seconds. And having to go through that for each boss attempt is not that great. I'm just hoping I don't end up getting stuck here for like an hour like I did the first boss. That is an experience I'm hoping I don't have to repeat. We'll see. I'm just gonna let myself get rocketed to the top and go after that first crystal. Seems like a good way of handling things. Actually, if he doesn't turn around, I might be able to kill this shard post-haste. Okay, nope, that does do damage on the way down. I must have just gotten lucky with my positioning that one time. Good to know. So yeah, get the fuck out of dodge when he does the slam. Oop. Oh, I almost broke it. Okay, wow. I tried to get out of the way with the air dodge, as you probably noticed, but it didn't quite work. Okay, yeah, the issue is that it's difficult to get a lot of horizontal distance while in the air. The air dash doesn't have nearly as much momentum. Oh, I'm gonna get fucked. As the roll does, which resulted in me getting hit by that fucking hammer multiple times. Oh, that attack is nasty. Okay, I'm already reduced in resources. Before I progress the fight any further, let me try and take down a few of these cannons. I'm not gonna bother platforming my way up because he's just gonna turn around like that. I'm just gonna use the cannons skyrocketing to get up to them a bit more easily. At least the turrets aren't terribly strong. They are quite easy to kill, which I'm thankful for. Yeah, the platforms just really aren't helpful. I'm best off always just waiting for it to do the hammer attack, and it's gonna use the cannon, isn't it? That has to be why it's running away like that, yeah? Which means I'm gonna want to get close to it. I was hoping that maybe by jumping in the air I might be able to avoid it somewhat, but not the case. Alright, let's take down that one remaining turret. Nice. It's probably going to do the hammer attack again, so I'm going to have to get in some damage and then immediately get the fuck out of dodge. If I don't want to take a whole bunch of damage. Okay, I'm understanding this fight more quickly than I did the Dominion one, that's for sure. It took me a oh, great. What is even happening? It took me a surprising amount of time there to actually figure out, that I needed to destroy those Chaos Gates to prevent a ridiculous rate of enemy spawns. That's why I'm going after the turrets so quickly here, to avoid that situation. Alright, probably not going to win in this attempt. That laser is just really nasty. I think I iframed through that attack. Good to know that I can do that. I get off some damage and then go after one of the turrets. I was gonna say, unfortunately I got knocked down. Thankfully, as long as I'm not directly in its path, that cannon is actually more to my advantage than my disadvantage. Did I say cannon? I meant hammer. I'm not a fan of these pillars here. I don't think they really add all that much to the fight. They're just kind of an annoyance and extra visual noise, which makes it all the more difficult to tell where Esh is, which is already a pretty big difficulty. Yeah, like, when the crystals are aligned with the geysers, because they're the same color, I can't even really tell where they are. Okay, I gotta get over here fast, come on. Shit, he juked me. I wonder if he always does 2 dashes like that, or... Okay, so it hits a bit above if you're right close to it, so I actually want to stay a bit far away and then jump. That's the best way to avoid it. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for him to do another hammer. Oh, okay, he's got another turret back. I just noticed that. I have to go for that. That extra little chip damage, it's not much, but it's enough to possibly finish me off if I take huge damage from something else. So I guess they just come in every now and again, so I can't really faff about. Once I've actually gotten rid of them, I really gotta start going for serious damage. Well, maybe it is based off of its health bar decreasing. It's really hard to say. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna make it on this attempt, I can tell you that right here. At least I got killed by the big huge cannon. That's a warrior's death. Rather than picked off by the tiny pew-pew turrets. Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle in this fight overall is, much like the first one, just telling what the hell's going on. I think it's even more zoomed out than the first boss fight, and that makes it really hard to tell where Esh is on the screen at a moment. Especially when you get rocketed away by turret fire, the laser, or the hammer slam. Like, it usually takes me several seconds to actually figure out where Esh has gone, and that's not great design. Can I pick up a few bonuses? Yeah, 2 boni. I doubt the luck, yeah, since it only affects, drops, it's not gonna help me too much here, although, who knows, maybe that, boosts the rate of getting health elixirs from breaking those Elder Shards. If I could get one of those to drop in the fight, that would help loads. Alright, I'm gonna call it right here, right now. I'm going to beat this boy on my 3rd attempt without taking any damage. Yeah, I know I'm a great comedian, aren't I? I'm actually worried because I haven't even gotten him to the point where he starts going berserk. I have no idea what that's even gonna be about, and that worries me greatly. How difficult is that gonna be to deal with? Hopefully not too much so. Okay, I gotta get in front of him to bait out the hammer, and then use that to rocket up. I definitely want to go after the uppermost shard first, just because it's the biggest pain in the ass to actually reach. So I really don't want to have to deal with going for that when he starts going berserk. I guess if I drop down on the platforms like that, I can end up going back to the top of the crystal a bit more quickly than if I drop all the way to the bottom. I mean, that's probably obvious, but I wasn't doing that before, now I am, so that should help. God, I feel like that hammer has a slightly larger hitbox than its sprite would indicate. What would you call, like, an object in this game? You can't really call it a sprite per se, can you? given that it's hand-drawn art. I mean, I guess you could. It's just not what you typically think of as a sprite. Alright, well, the top crystal's almost gone. Let's get rid of that. Collect the jujus in case I do die. I'll gain something from this fight at least. Alright, I gotta avoid the laser. I gotta focus on that. I didn't focus enough, though. It fires so quickly, I gotta get used to the timing more. Let me take out the turrets. It's one gone. And, oh, unless I fall to the bottom, god damn it. Alright, it's two gone. Now I can start going after the shards again. Let's go after the middle one, because the lowest one should be easiest to reach later on. Alright, it's gonna start doing the hammer, so I'm gonna want to move over here. Or the laser. Okay, let's see. Does it always do 2 passes? No. It only does the second pass to try and trick you if you go after it the first time. You can probably actually bait out that second pass, but only go halfway, and then start going to where it's gonna go with the second pass, and thus avoid the laser entirely. That'd actually probably give me time to do a lot more damage as well if I wanted to. Speaking of damage, oh god. I do not like that circle laser it does when getting into its second phase. That is difficult to avoid. Alright, I gotta take down these turrets post-haste. Gonna use that health flask even though it's probably a bit of a waste. I don't want to suddenly keel over. Okay, gotta get rid of one more turret. Okay, I gotta deal with the laser first. I jumped too early that time. Shit. And that turret's in a rather precarious position, being right where the hammer's gonna be. Alright, but it's gone. I can damage the lower crystal a little bit. Alright, wait for the hammer strike. Let my shield regenerate somewhat. And go for the middlemost one, unless I get screwed by the damn waterfalls. I hate those so much. Okay, I'm just gonna get what damage I can here. Kind of wish the turrets stood out a little bit more if they were like had a splash of red on them, because it's kind of easy to lose them among the large boss size, which is again not great design. Christ, you have to have perfect timing with that laser, because if you try to react to it, it will end up hitting you. If you try to predict it, as I did in my previous attempt, you'll likely end up dodging early and still end up getting hit by it. God, and it's not even in its final phase. I would like to at least make it to that, just so I can see what that's about and perhaps predict what I need to do. And I don't think it's going to be the case. Maybe I should just ignore the turrets. I'm wandering around too much. I should just be going for damage at this point. But then I have to deal with these laser spams when I'm in the middle of the air and unable to dodge stuff effectively. And that's its own trouble. Well, looks like I'm gonna get one more shard, so if he's gonna go berserk, it's probably gonna be now. Oh, I so would have loved it if he had given me a health thingy. I'm fucked. Yep. Because I didn't time my jump attempt perfectly, I was screwed. And since he makes the platforms fall right before doing the laser strike, I can't exactly make use of those. I guess if I could ascend them while he's doing the run across, I could make my way up high enough that I could avoid the laser entirely, but it's a very tightly timed window to do that, I think. But yeah, it seems like getting him low enough that I broke 2 shards and then some, since I damaged the third one a bit. It didn't actually get him to a third phase, so maybe he doesn't have one. Maybe it's just his second phase transition that's the only difficulty increase in the fight. I'm perfectly happy if that's the case, honestly. Let me think. Could I change my perk setup at all to help me? Probably not. I don't want to get reduced money, I don't want to reduce my damage output any, and if I reduce my armor... If I had less armor in those previous attempts, I probably would have died much earlier, considering how low in health I got, so yeah. Just gonna keep everything as is and hope for the best. Okay, second phase time. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, so if I go close enough, he's gonna start running back to the right, isn't he? Oh, nope, he's gonna do the laser here. Okay, let's see if I get the timing down. Of course I didn't. Well, I have full health shards, so I might be fine. At least I won't die immediately, knock on wood. Gonna go after the middle shard. Alright, let's take care of one of the turrets. I don't want to let their number increase too much. I gotta do as best as I can to reduce the overall amount of chaos if I want to have a chance at surviving. And really, yeah, because they don't do much damage, but the fact that they do damage at all prevents my shield from regenerating. And that's what ends up hurting me most in the fight overall. It ends up making it a battle of attrition I can't really win. Oh, I tried to... Okay, let's see if I can do this. Because you have to jump with the right timing and then do an air dash to extend your air time. And you also can't do it too close to the start of the laser because it hits high up enough above near there, near the start, that you won't be able to dodge it, period. Okay, let's go for damage next. I haven't been damaging the crystals nearly enough. And it's just gonna summon more turrets anyway, like the friggin' shirk it is. See? But I have another nearly destroyed, so that's something. Alright, and that's another gone. One more to go. One more laser shot to avoid. Yeah, I don't have enough time to actually ascend 5. I'm just gonna heal. And I made it. Okay, yeah, I've just kind of memorized the timing to dodge that laser attack at this point. I kind of have to. It's the only real way I have of avoiding it. I like how my character is completely covered by foreground elements. That is a great bit of artistic design. Good job, game devs there. Alright. Okay, I still have 2 health shards. I'm gonna hold off on healing just yet. Just to make slightly more efficient use. I managed to avoid bullets long enough that my shield's back so I can tank through some stuff. And the rebounding shield actually really comes in handy because it lets me damage that Elder shot a tiny bit. Again, I'm gonna stay far away just so I can most effectively avoid these things and have as big a shield as possible. Okay. Do or die time. Please don't do another laser. Okay, good. Now I just gotta actually get over to that shard and start damaging it. Alright, I did a little bit of damage. Not a lot, but it should do another... Oh, okay, nope. It's going after the laser. That's not great. Yeah, I was trying to get it to do the laser and then get behind it so it couldn't hit me at all, but no such luck here. Oh, so much for perfect timing. Okay, come on. All I need is a little bit of damage. Not even all that much. Magnet, Bullet Transfabricator, Life Absorb, rank 2. Is that the Life Leech one? That might be worth using now that it's rank 2. Yeah, who needs weak men when you have strong women like Esh?